Hi, welcome to PG6N's channel. This is a video for a friend who asked, what kind of semi-automatic rifle should I get? He gave me a couple of parameters on it. He's looking for like a high-cap fighting type rifle, and he has $1,200 to spend. Okay, so I'm probably gonna title this video like fighting rifles or something like that. Semi-automatic rifles. I'm going to go through a bunch of these and talk about most of them. Give you some specific models and brands and shit to look for, especially on the ARs and AKs. Basically, what to get, in my opinion. Let's start with the ARs. This rifle is a Troy Industries Defense Carbine, set up kind of like an SPR. That's for a bipod that's actually in the other room. Then this basically is, I don't know, it's a contradiction, because this being in this position is for CQB, but yet the rest of this gun is set up long range. That's mainly because if you dump enough stuff off of this, I want it to be able to do close-up stuff too. Anyway, guns like this are great. They're pretty heavy though. They're not everybody's cup of tea, and they aren't really mine. I like the other gun better, and we'll get to it in a minute. I would avoid the Troy Industries gun. I don't think it's really that good of a fit and finish for what you pay for it. I'm going to hang on to it just because I've already got it, and I do like it. Other guns like this, like, I don't know, Rock River builds a lot of guns like this. Who else? If I can think of anyone. Oh, Ruger builds a couple of ARs with that particular rail on it. Does Smith put that on their guns still? I don't know. Anyway, we're talking about AR-15s with rails. Almost every company on the planet makes an AR with a rail. My personal choices for AR-15 brands would be, if you're going to buy it, Smith & Wesson. If you're going to build it, Spikes, BCM. Actually, if you're going to buy it too, Spikes and BCM are great, but just for me personally, I think building when I think of those two. So any of these brands are great for buying also. But Smith & Wesson, Spikes, BCM, Barrett, if you have a bunch of money that you don't know what to do with. They're pretty expensive. Daniel Defense. Daniel Defense is pretty awesome, as a matter of fact. And you can get one of their lightweight carbines for about $1,000, I think. Is it $1,000 or is it $1,500? I don't remember. It's one or the other. I know that's a big price difference, but I just can't remember which bracket it falls into. The other gun here is a Spikes. It's a home build basically. I bought the upper in a Black Friday sale, and then I bought the lower and the parts and all that here locally and put it all together and then accessorized it. This is what I like in an AR-15. If you notice, I'm holding this comfortably up with one hand. It's a pretty lightweight little gun. You don't need to have a big ass comp on the front of it. That's just my own weirdness. If you're going to buy a red dot, this is the one to buy. It's an Aimpoint Pro. It's like $400. Don't buy a red dot if you're not going to buy this one, or better. You can buy better ones, but why? It does everything you'd ever need it to. Okay, besides those brands I gave you, the things to look for on ARs are, first off, I would get a mid-length gas system. It's better. Everyone pretty much agrees it's better. Whether you want to get down to the science of the gun, the dwell time is right, the gun shoots a little softer, all that sort of shit. Okay, yeah, whatever. It looks better, and you can put a bayonet on it. For me, that's the reason, honestly. It's not too technical. But both of these guns are mid-length, and the rest of the stuff here we're going to talk about is going to be internal. If I can get this pin out. And more than brands, the stuff I'm about to show you is what's important. Oh, rear sight wise, buy this. It's a Knights Armament rear sight. You can get them on eBay, stolen from the Marine Corps, for like 60 bucks. It's like a $250 rear sight. Just my opinion, it's one of the better ones. Let's put this back down now. This is one of the two key components on the AR-15. We'll talk about the other in a minute. That is the bolt carrier. First off, you want the end of your bolt carrier to look like that. That's a full auto bolt carrier. I don't know if it really helps or not, but why not have it? Basically, the theory on this is, on the semi-auto ones, they mill out a big notch to there, so it doesn't catch the full auto sear in a full auto gun. But it messes with the weight of this, and the weight of this is pretty critically important to the wear of the gun. So try to get that if you can. That's a nice to have, not need to have. The other gun has a semi-auto bolt. You see there on the key, this is the gas key. Those screws are staked. That's a little dent right there. You want those to be that way. Otherwise these can back out and cause all sorts of trouble. Now, let's see if I can get this out. I may need a pin. I'm going to get a pin. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry I was gone. I forgot I was going to have to do this. And I just cut my nails, so I can't. If you have longer nails, you can just pick this right out. Okay. If not, the tip of a bullet or a flathead screwdriver or something will work. Basically, you pull that pin out, the firing pin comes out. You twist this, if I can do that. Oh, gee, that's awesome. Well, it won't twist. I've never had this bolt apart, so don't freak out on me. Anyway, it's just a bastard to turn. That sucks. I was hoping to be able to show you this easier. Ah, there we go. Maybe. I think I may have broken it free. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm just going insane. It's entirely possible with me. I'm using a bottle opener as a wrench now. I don't recommend that, by the way. There we go. Not quite. Let's turn just a little bit more. Okay, you want that to turn to that direction so that you can pop it out. Just comes out, and then your bolt comes out. For some reason, the spikes is really tight. What I'm wanting to show you on this is that little mark right there. If it'll ever focus. I think you guys can see that. What that says is ST HPT MPI. That's a testing mark. You want your bolt to have that on it. Basically, that's what to look for in an AR bolt. staking, the full auto length, and the HP T MPI tested bolt. I'm not worried about putting that back together later, because I already killed enough video pulling it apart. Let's see. Let's pull some handguards off too. This should be fun. Pull the scope off first. Sorry to be like disassembling these here on camera, but I just kind of thought up shit that was important. And as you may have guessed by now, I kind of like the AR-15 because of how easy it is to pull all this crap off. Okay, on the top of your barrel, you can see the markings you probably can't read. Basically, right up in here, or right up in here, or on the bottom, somewhere on the barrel, it's going to say that it's chambered in 5.56 NATO. It has a 1 in 7 twist. That's HP MP tested, the same testing that was on the bolt. And that it is a CMV barrel, chrome molybdenum. If you can get cold hammer forged, that's great too. If not, don't worry about it. Anywho, that's what to look for in an AR-15 in my opinion. Everything else about the gun you can change to your heart's content. I would try to buy one plain stock and put stuff on it if I were you, or build it yourself, one or the other. I wouldn't buy one with a bunch of crap on it, because you don't know what you want yet. And there's no gun that comes with everything you want. This Troy came pretty close for me. Even I changed out a few things on it. Okay, now my pile of AR-15 down here. Hope you like this video, Tim, because that's going to be a pain in the ass later. Anyway, of all these guns I'm going to show you, the AR-15 is probably in my top 3 choices. It's actually probably my #1 choice. Okay, this gun was $1,500 plus all the accessories and crap, maybe around $2 grand ish. That's counting mags and shit though. This gun was bone stock, probably about $700, and with all the crap on it, maybe around $1,500. So that's not right. With everything but the optic, it's a $1,000 gun. So yeah, $1,400. Anyway, I built it with all the Magpul stuff on it, so I can't really just say, this is what it cost me. If you were to go out and buy a Spikes, you go to AIM Surplus and order an upper and a lower, and then pop it together yourself. And the upper is like $530 and the lower is $250, so that's right under $8. Then you still have lots of money left to accessorize it and put what you want on it. Hand guards, I like the MOE hand guards, and the furniture too for that matter, but I like the hand guards better than rails because you can shoot this thing to where it's so hot that it catches the top part of this on fire, and yet the bottom part down here is still cool enough to hold with gloved hands. And that is because of this big ass aluminum heat shield. Okay, that doesn't have a heat shield. This does. It makes a huge difference. What else? That's probably about it on ARs. Smith & Wesson right now makes a Magpul edition rifle. That's pretty good. It comes with decent stuff on it. It's all the Magpul stuff I would put on it, plus M-Bus rear sight, which it's okay. It's not my favorite, but if it's free, I'd take it. Basically, you buy that gun for about $1 grand. You buy one of these for 400 bucks, you're good to go. It even comes with a vertical grip, if I remember right. The only other thing you'd have to add would be the bad lever, which in my opinion is absolutely essential to an AR-15. I just took the mag out, and here's why. Oh, this one doesn't have the bolt in it, so I can't show you, but anyway, when you pull the bolt back, you can lift this and hold it back, and it'll allow you to clear malfunctions way easier. It's just better. Everything about the bad lever makes your gun better. Okay, I'm going to clear some garbage out of the way and we can move the camera. Okay, next we're going to talk about AKs. AKs are kind of an interesting topic for me because I'm really not that big of an AK guy, but I do like them. My first 2 or 3 semi-automatic rifles were AKs. We're also going to talk about the SIG guns in this because they're kind of an AK, kind of an AR, kind of not either one. But that's the SIG 522, not a a 5.56 chambered gun, but we're going to pretend it is for this video because they look about the same. This is the Yugo InPap. It's a great AK for the money. I got that for $4.99 last weekend. Basically, AKs tend to work. There's some debate about some guns, but basically they pretty much tend to work. They're good guns. Some of them are heavy in my opinion. Particularly that Yugo seems very heavy to me. I love the AK-74 a lot better than the 47, which that is. It has a muzzle brake on the end of it that really helps with recoil, and it's shooting a little pathetic cartridge to begin with, so it feels like you're shooting a 22. It's more my style. As far as the gun goes, accessory wise, Magpul made this pistol grip. It's one of the better grips I've had for the AK. If I wasn't going to have that, I would have a Romanian Romanian Bakelite grip on there. Those are like $5 and they're awesome. It's the typical AK grip that I like, and the Romanians tend to be just a little bit bigger than some of the others. One of the things you'll run into with this gun, or any foreign-made AK, is 922R compliance. Just pretend you never heard of it. You will be better off. I don't follow it. I don't recommend that you do. Basically, it's a law that applies to importers that people on the internet have just run amok with and think that it applies to everybody. And even if, let's say, the ATF decided to be an asshole and charge you with something that you really can't be charged with, it's a slap on the wrist. It's not like it's a fucking felony. Okay? Oh, you have too many parts on your gun. Fucking hate that bullshit. Just don't obsess over that. It's like what's the word? The biggest douchebag gun nerd thing to do in the world. Okay? I know I'm offending probably half my audience right now, and that's okay. And we're 20 minutes into this thing, and I'm just on fucking AKs. Wow. This is going to have to be a two-parter. Anyway, stock-wise, there's several good ones. I'd recommend the fixed Bulgarian stock if you can take a normal stock. If you buy this Yugo, you're going to have to get a Ace adapter plate and run Ace stocks. It's just the way it is. But pretty much just the normal fixed stock is good. This one isn't because it's a Yugo and they suck. Not to bash my own gun, but the Yugo stock really sucks. If you're on a red dot, you'd probably love it because it's just a little bit higher. But I'm not going to run a red dot on that rifle. Rail-wise, Midwest Industries rails are about the only AK rail worth running. There's a couple of others. I really like the stock polymer Bulgarian handguards. Go look at my Arsenal AK was it SLR 106 video. It's in the semi-auto rifle playlist on my homepage. That's the kind of gun I'm talking about. You know, with that black Bulgarian polymer furniture. I would try to find something like that and then put that grip on it. Just my opinion. That's all I really have to say about AKs. If you can get them cheap enough, I think they're good guns and they tend to work. The SIG. This is the direction I would really steer you in. It's like the Rolls Royce of rifles, in my opinion. The 551A1 is the cream of the crop of their line, but the only difference between the 551A1 and the 556 that everyone loves to hate on is a lower receiver that allows you to take AR mags. Now the old 556, the Gen 1 556, sucked. I had a Gen 1 522 and it didn't suck as bad because it didn't have a lot of the other problems the 556 did, but it had a few of them. Namely, the furniture sucked. These new second generation guns are so much better, it's not even funny. We might be able to do this in a single part. Anyway, if you buy this, the only thing you have to do is buy a red dot, and you can get one of these for about $1,000 in the 556 chambering. And it comes with a flip-up backup sight in the top rail on the 556 version. So you have, the fixed iron sights if you want them, or you can take it off. Oh, sorry. You can take off your rear iron sight, put on an aim point, and have a backup still. This is going to be a long video. Mini 14s. And Mini 30s. That's a Mini 30, that's a Mini 14. That one's a 7.62 by 39, that's in 223. They both suck. I mean, that literally, I really hate Mini 14s. They are not fighting rifles. Do not buy them. Probably some of the worst rifles, in my opinion, that a lot of people try to rely on for their lives. It's just not my thing. Okay. M1 Garand. It's a great rifle. You could get it in your price range. You would love it. It has a lot of history to it. If I was only going to have one rifle on this table, this would be in the consideration. It might actually be the one I'd pick if it wasn't the second AR over there. Okay. Now let's quickly talk about rifles that aren't on the table. 308s. Why aren't there any 308s on this table? Because 308s suck. They're overpriced, and why buy them? The 30-06 down there is basically an M14, but better in my opinion. I don't think the M14 was an improvement on the M1. Sorry. That offended some people too. AR-10s don't work. Don't buy one. The FN Scar 308s. Sorry. The FN Scar 308s and pretty much anything else made by FN is overpriced. In my opinion, I'm not going to pay that for it. What else is missing from this table? Oh yeah, bullpups. Bullpups suck. Don't buy a bullpup. You can debate me to the end of the earth on that, but it's not going to change the fact that they suck. Why do they suck? Well, there's a reason the magazine is in front of the fucking pistol grip. And there's a reason it is the size it is. And that's the way I like my guns. I do not like the little shorty bullpup things. Sorry, I just don't. I could make a second video kind of explaining my thoughts further, but we're running out of time. Basically, in your budget, the guns I would go with would be these three. The SIG 556, the AK, or the AR. And I would go with a Spikes AR. The SIG is only made by SIG, and then AKs. Try to find an Arsenal, and if you can't, the Yugo is pretty good. The Mini 14 and Mini 30, I'm going to do a review on here in a minute, so if you want to know more about why I hate those, well, go watch those videos. What else? Oh, yeah. You mentioned that they're like an M1 carbine. Well, I kind of think the M1 carbine sucks too, so that's just my opinion. It's not a power thing, it's just I've seen enough about those guns to know that they have a limited lifespan. As far as, the stopping power or whatever of a 30 caliber carbine, it hits like a 357 Magnum. Okay? It pretty much is a 357 Magnum. You're going to say, well, it's a smaller diameter bullet. The diameter of the bullet doesn't matter. Weight and speed matter. It is a 357, basically, that probably has a little bit more range to it. That's about all I have to say on fighting rifles. I hope maybe this helped you at least a little bit. I think the AR section is really going to help you, because I think that's what you're going to end up buying. Maybe the AK, I don't know, but I definitely would take a look at those SIGs. It's just such a slick gun, and the Swiss really know what they're doing. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Don't forget to thumbs up the video, and have a nice day.